Guess it's time to redevelop this area. What could I do? Oh, hey Jake, what are you doing in Mordalago?
I came over to watch you remove your highway. What a huge project this is.
I saw you just did a huge project in your city as well. You know what both of our cities need now?
More bridges, of course.
No, Jake, more walkability. Are you game?
Yeah, let's duel.
I have challenged Jake to take our troublesome, problematic intersections that we fixed in his duel and make them pedestrian friendly, walkable, bikeable, and enjoyable. So let's jump in and get started. I decided to go with the amusement park path. I love the touch of color on the railing. I think it'll fit so well in this area and just gives a little bit something extra on top of just the regular city park path. So I'm going to go around and make all my connections I need to over the roads, and then we'll connect everything together. Okay, let's get all of this connected. There we go. Is this realistic? No, there is no way any city would pay for this much pedestrian infrastructure, but guess what? We're in City Skylines, so we get to have fun and do what we want. Okay, next thing I'm doing is I'm going to paint this entire area and make it a park. Okay, of course we need a main gate, that way we can put down park assets where we need to, and I think over here is perfect for that. Okay, I just need to attach this little bit up here and just make this look a little bit cleaner and nicer than what I had before. Much better, and now we are all connected. I want to fence this entire area in. I want to use a very tall fence because this is still essentially going to be a pretty high traffic area. We've got the industry traffic, we've got the bus depot, and then we've got our main collector. And I want to make it so this part of our pedestrian walkway park can only be accessed from the path above. There's no entrance or exit on the ground. Just kind of, I want to give it that kind of sunken in feel and just create something really unique here. So cute. Okay, we've got to add in a bunch of trees and do some detailing and really spice up this little sunken in park. Let's see what we can do. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? Okay, let's add just a bit more. Look at this adorable little dog park, 1x1 dog park. It's on Larry Skyline's workshop. We're going to use a lot of his little parks today. So adorable. Just catching you guys up with the other things I have done so far. When I jumped out the game to go grab some things from Larry Skyline's workshop, I forgot to hit record. So I've worked ahead a little bit, but that's going to work in our favor. We have such a huge area to detail today, and I have such a short time to fit this episode into. So we're just going to keep going. I do think over here it'd be valuable to add in some parking and a ground connection, because a lot of people will go and see the city arches, and now we've got our insect, what do you call it, from the zoo, insect and reptile, I think that's what it is. And so we're kind of creating this as, like I said, we're making it its own park, even though it's also functional as a way to move about the city. But I really want it to be a very enjoyable walk, and why not use this space to provide more value to all of our citizens? So let's get this little area put together and we can move on. Jumping over to the other side of our city arch, I knew this is where I wanted to put this little souvenir gift shop that comes with the zoo assets. That's kind of the theme we're going for in this area. And you know, because people do come and you can see them, they will gather by your city arch. And so I want to create an experience on both sides, because you can't cross over except for using the pedestrian bridge, because we have no crossing on our main collector that goes in and out of town here. So we're just creating an experience on either side of our main road. All right, in this little section, I'm just going to fence it out and just do some kind of overgrown landscaping. I think that fits nicely in with our city. Let's do something similar just on the other side here. All right, we are making good progress. Let's work on the other side now. Now this side backs up into our residential community, or large suburbs that we made walkable, and it's not near the city arch, so I don't think it needs to be as grand, but I'm using this adorable, how cute is this, guys, 1x4 playground from Larry Skylines. I will link his workshop below. So adorable. He made these for his 1x1 series, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. And then there's this cute little 1x3 park. So cute. Okay, let's bring this all together with some trees and fencing, and I think that'll be it for this little spot. So cute. Okay, let's move on. Oh Okay, oh, this is really looking cool. Okay, let's bring this all together. One more side to do. Okay, this little windy road here is only allowing service vehicles. So I'm gonna put a little post office here on the corner and hook in our pedestrian network so you could easily walk to the post office no matter what side of the city we're on here. And additionally, our mail delivery people will have such easy access to every part of the city here. So I feel like this is gonna work out really well. The last thing I did just went around and made sure we didn't have any pedestrian crossings in this area. We want everyone to be using our brand new pedestrian network. This is massive, and like I said, the top's so unrealistic. I don't think any city would approve this massive of a project, and it looks really funky, but it is so functional, and the amount of people that are already using it is making me so happy, and it's just getting everyone where they need to be and also creating a very enjoyable walkable experience through our cities. Jake, I am so excited to see what yours looks like and how it turned out.
I made it back to my totally not over-engineered intersection, and I was challenged by Joy to find a safe way to move pedestrians and bicyclists through this area. I mean, I figured the sidewalks would have been fine. Oh, never mind, it's not fine. I see now that a safe pedestrian crossing is absolutely necessary for this area. The challenge I face is, how do I build a pedestrian crossing that follows the Americans with Disabilities requirements? I need my path to have less than a 5% grade, which is super challenging. I can already tell that going above the roads will be a challenge, so I'm going to try to sneak a path underneath. No, that does not mean I'll be using tunnels to cheese my way through this challenge. That's not the point of this. My pedestrian path will not go underground at all. I got the help of some friends to help me select which path I should use for this, and the consensus was to use the path with bike lanes on the outside and walking lanes on the inside. I quickly found out while building these paths that I can't use Move It on them to push it into the ground. I have to manually lower the ground to where I can then use Move It to raise the path. That's quite an annoyance, but I managed to make it work and bridge the portions of the road that will be crossing the path. I sneaked the path between the bridge pillars and abutments so I could snake it upwards toward the other side of the intersection. I went to check the grades, and of course they were too steep, so time to reroute the path to help with the grading. Since placing the path removed some of my trees, I just put them back so the path felt secluded from the hustle and bustle of city life. I also lined the paths with these purple flowers that I refuse to call them by name. Most people would be done at this point. Not me. I got some more detailing I need to do. I lay out some walls so I can select which one I'd like to use for my bridge abutment. I selected a nice looking stone brick with the help of a few of my friends. I decided to make a U-shaped abutment which will have two effects. It will provide more realism by having an abutment in the first place, and it will hide the void that loves to show up under the bridges. If you don't know what a U-shaped abutment is, well, it's a retaining wall with the wings parallel to the road above, shaped like a letter U. Pretty simple. Here you can see how much nicer this area underneath the bridge looks already. Unfortunately, the pier looks atrocious, and I want to change it. I got some help selecting a bridge pier from my friends and ultimately landed on this one that is essentially a gigantic brick wall. It looks nice and it fits the style of the abutment. Looking underneath the bridge now really shows off how nice this area is. I couldn't leave the other side of the bridge to be ugly, so I replicated what I did over to this side. I also changed some of the other visible piers to the brick style, so all the piers look similar to each other. Now that all of that is done, we can take a look at what it looks like up close. We can also take a bird's eye view and see the path snake underneath the bridges. I think it looks really neat. If you thought we were done, we aren't. There isn't a safe pedestrian crossing on the left side of the intersection yet. We need to make sure that gets done. This time, I wanted to challenge myself to go over all of this while still maintaining the requirements set by the Americans with Disabilities Act. We are going to need to work some magic with this section to get it to work properly. The first thing I do is figure out where to place the crossing. I made sure to get the bridge as low as possible to make my life easier to get back to ground level. Turns out I placed it too low as a donut truck smashed right into my bridge. Once I raised the bridge a little bit, I checked again just to make sure no vehicles would hit it. Once that check was completed, I built out the path to connect back up to the road. Unfortunately, the grade was too steep, so I'll need to come up with a creative way to fix that issue. I'll come back to that soon. After seeing that the other side was too steep, I knew this side would be way too steep. I came up with a brilliant idea. What if I spiraled the pedestrian path until I got near the elevation that I needed to be? Well, that's exactly what I did. And it turns out I needed to spiral around twice on this side, which looks super cool. You cannot tell me otherwise. But it's missing proper supports. I'll get back to that later. But now I want to replicate this spiral on the other side. Fortunately, I don't need to spiral as much on this side as the elevation of the ground is higher, so this one takes less effort to make. I then spend the next hour searching for a support pillar that would work for these spirals. I landed on a monorail pillar that works pretty well as it's one of the only pillars that has a cantilevered portion. Once I get all the pillars in place, I plop a grand live oak tree in the center of one of the circles, and I placed a temple in the center of the other circle. I think both of these are very nice centerpieces. I slide a path underneath so anybody can access the temple. Now that we are finished building these masterpieces, let's take a look at what it looks like up close. Absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to show Joy what I've built. I bet she's going to love it. I should probably go check on her to see how she's doing with her own pedestrian crossing. Let's go take a look.
Wow, Jake, I was so blown away by this. What made you think to do this spiral?
Well, I was trying to follow the Americans with Disabilities Act, where you have to have a certain percent on your grade on your slopes. And I couldn't get it to fit the way it was, so I had to come up with something creative. And that's where I came up with that spiral idea.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed the time you took to make, what do you call it? You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you call it.
The U-shaped abutment?
Yes, abutment. It's a difficult word to say. Yeah, I love that. And then I love how you found like the matching pillars. It's just those little details really make a build. And I loved getting the first person view on that. Well, I really loved how your build came out. It was really awesome.
Well, thank you. I wanted to challenge myself, and you definitely gave me that challenge. Joy, you know I'm a sucker for bridges. What made you decide you wanted to put bridge pedestrian paths all over?
Because I was dueling the Bridge King. I had to.
And I just love how you use the zoo assets to mix with it and make it all a park. I think that's stunning. What was your thoughts behind that?
Well, I had all this undeveloped land. I thought, why not make a park?
That is a wonderful idea, and I'm sure your citizens will love it. This was a ton of fun. Definitely a unique way of playing City Skylines.
Well, Jake, I so appreciate you jumping in and doing this with me. It was such a pleasure.
Well, thanks for having me.
Hey, Jake, what are you still doing in Mortalago?
I was just enjoying your lovely new pedestrian walkways. How did this come about?
Well, somebody here challenged me to a duel to address this issue. Do you want to see how I fixed it?
Absolutely. I'd love to show you my new, definitely not over-engineered infrastructure in my city as well.
Who doesn't love a good old traffic fix video? Let's go.